Hello everyone, this is UBED Khan and you are watching Elite Edu World. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates of our channel, and please do share with your friends, relatives, and especially for students, because our channel having a lot of educational videos. Okay, so let's move towards today's topic. Hi everyone, once again welcome into our next session. Before, in very first lecture we have started the biology chapter number 1, the leaf, and we have discussed enough about what is different kind of the plants, what is mean by a root system, what is mean by shoot system, or which part is called root, which part is called shoot. And then we have seen different kind of the roots, what is root, what is meant by the tap root, what is meant by different types, two types we have already seen of fibrous root and tap root. Then we have started the stem, and we have already seen what are the function of the stem, and which are parts are there, apical buds and axillary bud, then what is node. And now we will already we have started what is the function of the stem. So it will provide the support, it will giving place for the birds, that all the birds, leaves, flowers, everything will be bear by the stem only. Then we have seen it will helping into the movement of the water from roots to leaves. Then after the photosynthesis, when the food will prepare, it will be transferred from the leaves to all part of the plant. That is actually the plant having stem having xylem and phloem. Xylem are responsible, these are the tissues, connective tissue. Xylem tissue will transport the water and phloem tissue will transport the food from leaf to all part of the plant, because actually the photosynthesis will happen into the leaves, and that is why leaf is called the food factory. But that food will not only needed by the leaf, so that is why it should be transported to each and every part of the plant. So that is why it will transfer through the stem, and it can be provided to the stem, it can be provided to the roots of the plants. So that is also again main things of the functioning of the stem. And lastly, the stem also manufacture food when green and young. When it was a small plant, that time you have seen stem also look like green. So when it was a green, that time it can be make the food, that time only it can be prepare the food. Once it become a bigger plant, so it cannot be make the food, so the leaf only can make the food. So that was all about the stem. Now we will discuss about the leaf. So everybody know leaf, what is the importance of the leaf, because it can be make the food inside, that photosynthesis will happen into the food, and also it is called the food factory of the plant. So the flat and green part of the shoots that grow laterally from the nodes of the stem, because we have already seen there are the nodes are present in the stem, so from there the leaves will be grow, or the leaves, and there are always buds in the axial of the leaf called the axillary bud, right? Axillary bud means they are on the angle of that stem, so that is called the axillary bud. And leaves do not continuously grow like the stem, but stop growing on attaining the full size. Like it's not like in the case of stem that will be growing continuously, but leaf having a special time period for the growth, when while it will reach to the maturity, it will be stop growing. So it will be grow until it will be mature. After maturing, it will be stop the growth. While it's attending the full size, the leaf will be stop the growth. Now the structure of the leaf, how leaf look like. A typical leaf has the following part. Now we will discuss about what is leaf, and how it look like, and what are the basic part, how we can be divide our leaf. So number one, we will start with this petiole, right? So what is a petiole? That is this is the point which is arising from the nodes on the stem. Then it is having supporting the functioning of petiole is to support. Then you can see there is an axillary bud that is on the angle on the stem and our petiole. Then leaf having all the green part, that is all the green part that is spreaded, that is called the lamina, right. This is the lamina which is spreaded all over the leaf, that is giving a green color. And then it is having the midrib. This is growing, or it is passing from the mid, that is why it is called the midrib. It is also allowing the movement of the water and food. Then it is having a further branches which is arising from the midrib to provide the water to each and every part of the plant, that is called the veins. Like in our body we are having the veins, arteries and capillaries. So this is also having the veins which can be do the transportation function in the plant leaves. And in the tip of the plant, or before that, there is a leaf margin. These all are the whatever the structure are there, it is called the leaf margin. And on the top there is a leaf apex, that is the point of the leaf. So these are the basic part of our leaves, and we can be divide the leaf into this part. And these are the basic, because we have to keep in mind when we are going to look the types of the leaves. So we will just discuss about it is changing from the petiole, or all the things you have to just keep in mind, so it can be helpful to understand the next point. So this is the next point we have to see, that in our leaf, that is leaf blade. Now we are going to divide into the different part of our leaf. So we will just have seen the diagram of our leaves. So now what is leaf blade or lamina? That is the green flat broad part of the leaf is called the lamina. That is, I have shown you, that is all the green part, that is broad part, and leaf blade, and its outer edge is called the leaf margin. Whatever the borders are there, you can say the borders of the leaves, that is called the leaf margin. And the next is midrib. Midrib, I have shown you that the lines which is going, the line is going from between the leaf, that is called the midrib. And it is the petiole continues the point which is arising from the stem or from the node, that is called the petiole. So petiole continues into the lamina, and it is called the midrib, and then laterally gives out the branches. From the midrib there are the small branches will be arise, that will be allowing whatever the transportation of the water into the whole the leaves, that is called the veins. And petiole, midrib, veins, and veinlets, that is the further branches of the veins, conduct the water and food, right. When the plant leaves need the water, it will provide it with the midrib, right. Then it will be further divided into the veins. When plant already prepare the food from the leaves, so the food will be again transport to all part of the plant, that is also with the help of the midrib and veins. And veins also provide a skeleton or a supportive framework to the leaf. That is also very important point. It will also support to all the leaves. It will also provide the skeleton, like we having the bodies in our body. In the class 5th you have already studied the human skeletal system. So like in plant leaves also, it will act as a support, it will act as a skeletal system, and it will give the shape and support to the leaf. So that is about the midrib. So these are the basic point of our leaf we have to keep in mind. And then in the next slide we will see types of the leaves, because always in our surrounding we are looking different kind of the plants. So all the plant doesn't having all the same kind of the leaves, different plants having different kind of the leaves, different types of the leaves. So whatever and what are the types of the leaves we will see in the detail now. So and how it is become different from each other, that will also see here. So leaves can be of two types, simple leaf and compound leaf. These are the basic difference, or basic, we can divide all the leaf into the two groups. One is simple and the other one is compound leaves. So what is simple leaves, we will see first of all here. So in a simple leaf, the leaf lamina is undivided. What is meant by the lamina? All the green plant, all the green part of the leaves, that is undivided and is a single piece. It is not having a two parts. So that is a lamina. It is whole lamina is there. It is not having any division into the lamina. That is only a whole piece. So that is called the simple leaf. It doesn't having any kind of the complications. Example, we can see the mango leaf, banana, banyan, etc. These are the leaf that is called the simple leaves, because their lamina is not divided into two parts, that is only a single piece. Marginal incisions if present, so do not reach up to the midribs or the petiole. If there is a region, or if there is a marginal regions are there, you can see the example of prickly poppy plant, right? It is you can see there is a division, but division in the lamina, but it's not up to the midrib, it will stop here. So that is why again we can be say that it is only a whole leaf, it is not divided, right? It's only having a such kind of the divisions up to the lamina only, but it is not reach up to the petiole. So that is why it is considered as only a whole single leaves, right? These are the example, and this number 1 is example of prickly poppy plant leaves. So that is why it is called a simple leaves, it will not divide it into two parts, right? And the second type of the leaf, that is called the compound leaves. So what will happen in the compound leaves? In a compound leaf, the leaf blade or the lamina, that green part, is divided into the smaller units called the leaflet. Example, rose. These are the example, you can see here, I will make it zoom. So this is a smaller part, means this is before here it is whole leaf will into the one piece only, you can say this is the one part only, but here that one part will be divided into this small parts. So that is why it is called the compound leaves. This is the one leaf from here, but afterwards it can be divided into a different small, that is called the leaflet, right? So that is why it is called a compound leaves with the incision up to the midrib. This is the midrib, and up to here they are having a division, right? Here from the midrib you can see 1 2 3 4 5 leaflets are there, that is why it is called the compound leaf. And in simple leaf there is only a one piece. So that is a basic difference from the compound leaf and simple leaf. These are the B and C, both are the example of the compound leaf. A is example of simple leaf, but B and C is example of compound leaf. So the difference only, it is having only one piece, and the other compound leaves having the different small leaflets, maybe 4 or 5 leaflets are there, that is divided. The one leaf only divided into a small leaflet, that is mean by the compound leaves, right? So this is the simple components of the leaves. Now the next point, that is leaves can be classified into various ways. For more description or for more divisions, we can be divided on the basis of the shape, how it look like, right? So on the basis of the shape also we can be divided into a different types. Number 1, needle shape, example pine or onion. These are the leaves example, that is called the needle shape. Their means top point it is needle, and then second is oval, that is example of guava and apple, the leaves shapes are oval. The third example, heart shaped leaf, example of people. You can see here the people leaf is there. So if you can just see the shape of this leaf, it look like the heart shape. So on the basis of the shape of the leaf also you can be divide, or you can be separate into different groups. The next is oblong, example banana. This is the banana leaf and the shape is oblong shape, that is why it can be divided on the basis of their structure. And then circular, example of the lotus. And in the next point, that is a tapering, that is example of eucalyptus and ashoka. So these are the structure, on the basis of their shape we can be divided into a different types, that is a 6 type, right? Now on the basis of margin, and what is margin, I have told you, that are the outermost boundaries of the leaf, right? It will give the shape to the leaf. So on the basis of the margin we can be also divide the leaf into different parts. Number 1, complete or entire margin, example of people. So people, the plant that is having the complete margin, so it can be a different type. Then tooth or serrated margin, example of the China rose. If you have seen the China rose plant, that is also having that. Then wavy margin, example ashoka and mango. Then spinous margin, that is example of a prickly poppy. Spinous margins, example prickly poppy, you can be see here. that is on the margin they are having the spines, right. I can show you this point. If you can see the margins of this plant, they are having the spines present on that. This is called the margin of any plant. So on this margin you can see there are the different small spines are there. So because of this it is also divided, because on the margin, this is the different margin, on the basis of that it is also having the division, that is called the spinous margin. The margin is there with the spines. So that is all the 4 type of our leaves that is different on the margin, right. This is also in the example. You can also see the bamboo, lotus, where if you can compare the margin of all the plants or the leaves, each and every having the different margins. So on the basis of the margin also we can divide the leaves into different groups. Understood? So up to here we have seen the type of the leaves on the basis of the margin, on the basis of the leaf. So on the basis of the margin we have seen already. Now we will discuss about the different kinds of the leaves on the basis of arrangement of the leaves, how they are arranged on the stem, how they are arranged on the tree, that is also divided into a different groups. So how they are arranged, the arrangement of the leaves on the stem or its branches, it is called the phyllotoxy, and it can be a different types. Number 1, alternate leaves on the plants or on the stem. So only one leaf arises from each node. As I told you already, the nodes are there. So from each node, this is the example of alternate leaves, you can see here. So on this you can understand, from each node there is only one leaf is arising. It's not having any other leaf from the parallel, and so that is why it is called the alternate. One leaf in this side and the other leaves from other side. So from each and every node only the one leaf will be arise, that is why it is called the alternate type of the leaf. And the next leaves arises from the next successive node in the opposite direction, that is example of mint, people, China rose, right. The 2 points we have to keep in mind. First of all, that is each node having only one leaf, and the other node with only the successive node that is having the leaf on opposite direction. One leaf on this direction, one leaf on other direction. So this is and these are the alternative, that is why it is called the alternate arrangement of the leaves. On the basis of that we can also separate that or divide that. That is in the, you can also see in the mint, people and China rose, these are the example of the alternate. Then we will just talk about the opposite. So what is opposite? So in the plants like the jasmine and guava, so 2 leaves arises on each node opposite to each other. This is called the opposite arrangement. You can see the figure B, this is called the opposite. So what will happen, on each node they are having the 2 leaves are there. This is example, this is the one node. So in this node here is one leaf, and on the same node on opposite side there is one more leaves. So that is why in one node you can see there are the pair of leaves but on a opposite direction. That is why it is called the opposite leaves. Understood? Each node 2 leaves but in opposite direction. Before we have seen each node only one leaf on alternative, but in opposite direction example we have seen nodes that is having the 2 leaves but they are opposite to each other. So that is why it is given the name opposite arrangement of the leaves. So on the basis of the arrangement we are looking different kind of the plants with the different leaves are there. Now the third one is whorl. So that is more than 2 leaves are there attached at the each node, arranged in a whorl. That is a random, but an example is Olendra, that is a Nerium. So this is the example of that whorl type of the leaves. So here you can see more than one leaves can be arise from each node. Here you can count, this is one leaf, that is second leaf, and this is the third leaf. So from one node only, this is a single node, from one node there are the 3 leaves are arriving, that is why it is called the whorl. There is a arrangement that is having the more than 2 leaves are from the one node. So this is these are the comparison between these 3 types. You can understand easily. One leaf on each node, then other one is 2 leaves, that is in opposite. On a one node only 2 leaves are there. On third type more than 2 leaves can be arise from one node, that is why on the arrangement of the leaves we are having a different types of the leaves here, right. So now there is one activities also you can be easily understood with the help of this activity. What you have to do, you have to just take a one leaf of a people and just soak into the vinegar or water, right. You can be soak in the water also for a few days, but what you have to do, you have to just change the water after every second day, right. Then after that, after 4 to 5 days, just remove the leaf and just rub it with the finger. Now when you are rubbing the leaf with the finger, all the green part will be removed from the leaf, and then all the veination, all the veins are there present on the leaf, that will be transparent. So you will see, observe a very fine network of the veins, and dry it because it may contain the moisture, and then you can be use this leaf to make some birthday cards for your friend. But what are the activity, what are the motto to do this activity, you have to see the visible of veins, how many means which kind of the veins are there on leaf, you can be easily seen, because whatever the green part if it is removed, if you are taking example of this leaf, so whatever the green pigments while you are allowing to dip into the water, so all the green part will be removed, and whatever the veins are there, that will be visible. So you can be understand which kind of the veination systems are present in that leaves. So that is why this activity you have to do that. If you can easily do this activity, you can be I request all the students to just perform this activity. Why it is important? Because if you will done that activity, you just understand what is veination of the leaves. So basically what is mean by the veinations, I have shown you the picture of leaf in before. So from the petiole, it is just arising inside the leaf, and it is means converting into the midrib. From the midrib there are the several different small veins are there, so that is called the veination, which kind of the veinations are there. So now we will just arrange that. So arrangement of the veins in a lamina, lamina is a green part of the leaf, so arrangement of the veins in the lamina is called the veination, and it is mainly of two types. Veinations, on the basis of the veinations also, the arrangement of the veinations, we can be also divide the leaves into the two basic parts. So number one part, that is a reticulate veination, and the number second is parallel veination. Reticulate means the random, the type of the veination veins, and veinlets. Vein means the main vein which is arising from the or main veins, and then it is furtherly divided into the veinlets, that are the small veins are there, but they are irregularly distributed in the lamina, forming a network, right. If you see this, this is the example of reticulate veination. This is the example people, this is the leaf of the people. In that you can be see there are the means random movement or random presence of the veinlets in that when it is divided into a smaller branches. So there are the regular distribution of the veinlets, so that is why it is called the an irregular, and that is why it is called the reticulate veination. An example of the people, mango, guava, that are the leaves of the dicot plant. And what is mean by the dicot? The leaves or the seed of the plant which is having the two cotyledons, two leaves or two coverings, or seed also can be divided into two parts. So that the plants which is having the dicot seeds, so dicot plant having the reticulate veination, that are the irregular distribution of the veinlets into the lamina. Now we will just talk about the second type, that is called the parallel veination. Parallel means opposite to each other in a proper sequence. So this is the parallel veination. An example is banana. So if you have seen the leaf of the banana, so they are having the veination that is parallel to each other. Each and every veination will be parallel to each other, that is what is called the parallel veination, right. This is a midrib, so this is having the different parallel veinations are there. So this is the second type. In this type, the veination or vein run parallel to each other. Example, banana, grass, maize and wheat, that are the monocots, right. So all the monocots plant, they are having the parallel venations. So on the basis of the arrangement of the veins, that we can also divide the plants, or we can also understand properly. Then function of the leaf. Up to here we have seen on the basis of arrangement of the leaf, on the basis of the venations of the leaf, we have seen different kind of the plants. But now very important point, that is what is function of the leaf, why it is important, why there is leaves are present in our plant. If there is no leaf, what will happen? So the very important process, that is called the photosynthesis and transpiration. These are the important processes that will be done by our plants, so that the leaves are an important part that of plant. They perform the various function, but the two main functions, as they are having the different more functions are also there, but these are the two main functioning. With why the leaves are very important, because they are having these two functions, and that is why we have to be just give the importance. And what are the two? That is, one is photosynthesis and the other one is transpiration. So because of this, the leaves are having a more important than compared to the other parts. So number one, we'll see the photosynthesis, that is production of the food, right? And that is why we have said the food, the leaf is the food factory of the plant, because the food is prepared in the leaves, and the process which is preparing the food inside our leaf, that is called the photosynthesis. That might be we have already seen in the last classes. So the term photosynthesis means combining, right, and combining by the light. So what is mean by the photosynthesis? That is combining, and light means photo, right? You can also say photo means light and synthesis means combining. So during the photosynthesis, the water is combined with carbon dioxide to produce the glucose, right? Because already we know, for the photosynthesis, plant need sunlight also, plant need water and carbon dioxide. So in the presence of sunlight, there is a combining of the water and carbon dioxide, and it will produce the glucose. So you can also say the photosynthesis is combining of the carbon dioxide and glucose, the carbon dioxide and water molecules in the presence of sunlight. So it will produce the glucose, and that is a food for the plant, and the plant will use this food for different functioning of that plant, because photosynthesis will happen into the autotrophic plant only, because they can be make their own food, they can be produce their own food. And why they can be produce their own food? Because in the leaf they are having the chlorophyll, and this is the reason the autotroph plant can produce their own food, and they are looking green because of the chlorophyll. So this all the equation, all the process will be happening inside the chlorophyll. So that is why it is called the food factory of the plant, and the food will be produced and it will used by the plant, and it will be also provided to different part of the plants. So that is why it is very important process. And the transpiration means the removing, or the whatever the extra water is there, right, whatever the extra amount of the water that have to be send it and provided to each and every whatever extra water will be removed from the part of the plant, and it will be evaporate into the air. So that is called the transpiration. So these two processes are very important when we are talking about the leaf, right? So this is you have to just keep in mind what is photosynthesis. In our next lecture we will also just see what is importance of the photosynthesis, which reaction is happening in the photosynthesis, because the water and carbon dioxide will combine in the presence of sunlight. So that we'll see in our next lecture, and we will also see about the transpiration. But basic just take the idea about the transpiration, that is extra amount of the water will be evaporated through the aerial part of the leaves, and that is why the plant are taking part into the water cycle also. So whatever the things we have learned in this lesson, in this chapter, our session, just revise once again, and just write down some important points, and whatever the remaining points we will cover in the next lecture, especially the photosynthesis. So see you in the next lecture. Take care.